It's a slow grey morning, coffee, quiet, and a bit of rain outside. And I want to show you something I started back in summer. And it's been growing ever since. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Haus of Gruen. Today I want to show you one of my favorite scapes right now, a tiny riparium that has been growing quietly over the last couple of months and just started to bloom. It's such a cool and fun little project, and I will show you today how I made it. So let's get started. I started with the hardscape, basically the structure that defines the shape of the layout. For this one, I used pieces of driftwood and mopani wood. To get the exact shape I wanted, I glued them together with super glue and a bit of toilet paper. It sounds strange, but it creates a really fast and strong bond and lets me shape the structure exactly how I imagined it. This process takes a bit of time, but it's also the most enjoyable for me. With good music on, it's almost like meditation. Once the structure felt right, I added a layer of small slate rocks to build up the bottom of the scape and give it some weight, and then I took the whole setup outside for the next step. Because I wanted the plants to grow directly on the wood, I had to get a bit creative with the soil. I used Keto. It's a dense clay-like mix that holds moisture really well and helps roots grip onto surfaces. I pressed it onto the wood and squeezed it into the small crevices. Messy, but it works beautifully. Now let's plant this. I used tissue culture plants for this layout. They come in a nutrient gel that you have to rinse off first. Then I planted the tiny stems directly into the Keto. I already had a vision in my head of how it might look later, but at the beginning it always feels a bit strange. The more often you do it, the better you get a sense of how the plants will grow and fill in over time. I used a mix of mosses, stem plants, and even a tiny carnivorous plant. I will put the full plant list in the description. On top, I added a layer of sphagnum moss. It helps to keep the humidity high and holds moisture around the Keto and the plant's roots for much longer. Then I poured in a thin layer of sand for some extra detail and contrast, and after that it was time to bring the whole scape back inside to its new spot. After filling up the tank with water, I used 100% RO water for this. The scape just needed some time to mature. About 3 months later, it reached its peak, and I decided to take it off the shelf to photograph it and enter it into the AGA Contest. To prepare the scape for the contest photo, I cleaned the glass and trimmed some of the plants back a little. I also added some Bucephalandra from one of my other scapes to the water section, just to bring in a bit more texture and detail. This little battery light I placed behind the scape added just a bit more attention to the cave-like opening in the middle, a small detail, but I thought it looked really cool. And this is the final photo I entered into the contest. Wish me luck. I got some questions on Insta how I care for this scape, and honestly, It's really low maintenance. I do weekly water changes, clean the glass, trim the plants back a little. The Keto provides enough nutrients for the plants to grow, and under a good grow light, some will even surprise you with flowers, like this Pogostemon here. I'm also often asked about the lights I use. My favorites at the moment are the ONF Mist O Plus lights. I have them in almost all of our shelves. I use them in so many different setups, our bookshelf aquarium, the small terrarium, and even above our betta paludarium. They are app controlled and give off this warm, cozy tone that I personally prefer over the harsh, cold grow lights you usually see. This isn't sponsored or anything, it's just my honest opinion. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like always, take care of yourself, your loved ones, your sanity. See you next time. Peace.